You've been lied to your entire life. The enemy you think you're fighting, the critics, the doubters, the competitors, they are nothing compared to the real enemy. The enemy is in here, inside your own head. It whispers poison into your thoughts. It tells you you're not strong enough, not worthy enough. That failure is inevitable. That voice isn't harmless. It is the assassin of your destiny. And unless you destroy it, it will slit your throat slowly, every single day. Machiavelli understood this truth centuries ago. Before you conquer the world, you must conquer yourself. Power is never granted. It is seized, and the first battlefield is your own mind. This is why you must kill your negative thinking. Not manage it, not bargain with it, not cope with it. Kill it. Cut it off like a diseased limb. The weak man entertains doubt. The powerful man eliminates it. From this moment forward, you draw a line. Your mind serves you, or it dies. Comment below right now, I am stronger than my own mind. Because once you declare it, you stop being a prisoner and start becoming the executioner. 2. The enemy within. Understand this. Weakness begins in thought. Every hesitation, every moment of fear, every excuse you've ever made, it all began as a whisper in your mind. That whisper is not neutral. It's not just a thought. It is sabotage. It is treason. And if you tolerate treason within your own skull, don't be surprised when the world treats you like a slave. Machiavelli wrote that men are driven by fear or ambition. Negative thinking is fear disguised as logic. It convinces you not to try, so you never fail. But by never failing, you also never rise. That is the trap. That is the prison. Dark psychology reveals another truth. The mind clings to negativity because it feels safer to imagine defeat than to risk victory. The weak cling to misery like a blanket. The strong rip it away and step into the cold because they know power is forged in discomfort. Your thoughts must be ruled like subjects in a kingdom. If one rebels, you silence it. If one undermines your authority, you crush it. This is not cruelty. It is discipline. It is self-preservation. Every time a thought says, you can't, you answer, watch me. Every time your mind says, you'll lose, you reply, I've already won. Comment this now. My thoughts obey me, not the other way around. Burn it into your identity, because a man who cannot master his own thinking will always kneel before someone who has. 3. The Machiavellian mindset. Power is not about charm. It's not about talent. It's not even about intelligence. Power begins with psychological sovereignty, the ability to command your own thoughts without hesitation. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He saw that most men are slaves to illusions, to fear, to fleeting emotions. The few who rise above this weakness are the ones who rule. Negative thinking is the leash around your neck. It tames you. It keeps you obedient to mediocrity. But here is the dark truth. Nobody is coming to cut that leash for you. Not your family, not your friends, not society. If anything, they will tighten it because your weakness makes them comfortable. The masses thrive when you remain average. They do not want you untouchable. So you must become ruthless, cold, surgical. Each time a thought of doubt creeps in, kill it like an enemy spy. Each time your mind tells you to stop, push harder. Each time your fear begs for mercy, grant it none. You are not here to be merciful. You are here to be sovereign. Dark psychology teaches that control begins with perception. If you allow your mind to poison perception, you see obstacles where there are opportunities. But when you seize control, you see opportunities even in disaster. That shift is everything. That is the transformation from pawn to strategist, from servant to ruler. Understand this. The man who controls his inner dialogue becomes unbreakable in the outer world. He is untouchable because nothing external can defeat what he has already conquered within. So I'll ask you again, declare it now. Comment, my mind is my fortress and I am its master. Etch it into your identity, because once you master this, you move from being a victim of thought to being the architect of destiny. 4. Weaponizing the mind. Your mind is a battlefield. Most men walk through life unarmed, ambushed daily by their own weak thoughts. They fall to depression, hesitation, jealousy, fear, because they never forged their mind into a weapon. But you are here to be different. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, but boldness without mastery of thought is suicide. If your mind is chaotic, your actions will be reckless. If your mind is disciplined, your actions will be lethal. This is why negative thinking must die. Because every moment you tolerate weakness inside your skull, you hand the blade to your enemies. Dark psychology teaches us this. The world is not ruled by fairness, but by manipulation, dominance, and control. Most people are controlled because they cannot control themselves. Their emotions are exploited, their insecurities manipulated, their doubts magnified until they break. The man who has slaughtered his own negativity cannot be manipulated. He becomes unreadable, unshakable, untouchable. So how do you weaponize your mind? You begin by treating every negative thought as a traitor. You isolate it, you interrogate it, and then you execute it. Replace "I can't" with "I will." Replace "I'm not ready" with "I am already prepared." Replace "What if I fail" with "What if I dominate?" This is not self-help fluff. This is psychological warfare. You are reprogramming the battlefield so that you always fight from a position of strength. And once your mind becomes your weapon, you can direct it outward. You can influence. You can persuade. You can command respect without ever raising your voice. Because power is silent. True power is invisible until it strikes. The masses will never understand this. They feed their minds junk, negativity, gossip, fear, weakness. You must feed your mind steel, discipline, ruthlessness, vision. Because only then will your thoughts cut sharper than any blade. Now write it in the comments, right now. My mind is my weapon, and I sharpen it daily. Say it. Own it. Because the man who arms his mind is the man who cannot be disarmed by anyone. 5. The discipline of ruthlessness. Weak men talk about positivity as if it were enough. They repeat affirmations like parrots, hoping their fear will vanish. But fear doesn't vanish. It must be crushed. Negative thinking is not healed with soft words. It is annihilated with ruthless discipline. Machiavelli observed that men respect strength and despise weakness. Apply this principle inward. Your mind respects what you enforce, not what you request. If you allow negative thinking to linger, it multiplies like a disease. If you strike it down instantly, your mind learns obedience. Here is the cold process. Step 1. Observe without mercy. Notice the thought as soon as it arises. No excuses, no, it's just how I feel. You catch it like a spy in your kingdom. Step 2. Confront with force. Call it what it is: weakness, treason, a lie designed to sabotage your power. Naming it strips it of disguise. Step 3. Execute. Replace it immediately with its opposite. If your thought says, "You are not capable," you reply, "I am inevitable." If it says, "You will fail," you respond, "I am already prepared for victory." There is no debate. The execution is instant. Step 4. Reinforce. Back the new thought with action. Do the thing fear told you to avoid. Show your mind that hesitation is not tolerated. Action is the final bullet in the execution. Dark psychology teaches us that repetition shapes identity. Each time you kill a negative thought and replace it with dominance, you engrave a new pattern into your brain. Over time, your mind stops producing weakness because it knows it will be destroyed. That is discipline. That is control. And here is the brutal truth. Without this ruthlessness, you will always be ruled by doubt, by others, by circumstance. With it, you become untouchable. People will sense something in you they cannot bend, cannot shake, cannot exploit. You will radiate psychological authority. Most men crumble under pressure because their minds are fragile glass. Yours must become iron. When others panic, you remain calm. When others doubt, you calculate. When others give up, you push forward. That contrast is what creates dominance. This is not about being positive. It is about being sovereign. It is about becoming a master of yourself so completely that no thought, no fear, no external attack can pierce your armor. Now comment below. I execute weakness the moment it appears. Write it, declare it, own it, because only the man who rules his mind with an iron fist can rule anything else. 6. From inner war to outer power. Power begins inside. That much you now understand. But let's sharpen the blade further. Inner conquest means nothing if it doesn't bleed into the outer world. The purpose of killing negative thinking isn't just peace of mind, it's war readiness. It's about turning your psychology into a fortress so you can dominate reality without hesitation. Machiavelli understood that appearances dictate power. Men are judged not by who they are, but by how they project strength. If your thoughts are infected with weakness, it shows in your posture, in your tone, in your decisions. People can smell doubt, they can sense hesitation, and once they see it, they exploit it. The man who hesitates is already defeated. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine you've executed every self-sabotaging thought before it could breathe. Imagine you've trained your mind to obey only strength, only strategy, only certainty. When you walk into a room, that energy radiates. People cannot define it, but they feel it. Authority, control, gravity. That is Machiavellian psychology applied in real time. Dark psychology teaches us that most people are ruled by unconscious patterns. Their moods control them, their fears decide for them, their environment dictates who they are. These people are predictable, and predictable people are easy to manipulate. But when you eliminate your own negative thinking, you break free from predictability. You become unreadable, dangerous, the strategist in the room, not the pawn. Here's how inner war translates into outer dominance. First, decision-making. The weak man delays, second guesses, hesitates. His life is ruled by what if. You cut through hesitation like a blade. You act because you've killed the voice of doubt. Others waste time, you move forward. And movement is power. Second, influence. Negative thinking leaks into speech. The man who doubts himself cannot persuade others. His words carry no weight. But the man who rules his mind speaks with clarity, certainty, and gravity. That kind of voice bends people. It wins respect without begging. Third, resilience. When the inevitable storms of life strike, weak men collapse because their inner fortress was made of sand. You will not. Your mind, trained in ruthlessness, does not shatter. It adapts, calculates, strikes back. While others drown in fear, you breathe calmly and choose your next move. That contrast makes you unstoppable. Understand this: the real war is not outside you. It starts within. The man who cannot rule himself cannot rule anything. But once you conquer yourself, the external world bends. Situations become opportunities. Enemies become pawns. Even failure becomes fuel. This is why you must treat your mind as your first and greatest battlefield. Because the spoils of victory are not just peace. They are power, influence, and freedom. Now take action. Comment this below. I rule myself, therefore I rule the game. Stamp it into your identity. The untouchable man is not the one with luck or privilege or talent. It is the man who has executed weakness in his own mind and weaponized his inner world for dominance. 7. Bending the world to your will. Once you have killed your negative thinking, once you have fortified your mind into an iron fortress, you are no longer just surviving, you are ruling. The battlefield shifts. No longer are you merely defending yourself from the chaos of weakness. Now you move outward. You begin bending the world, bending people, bending circumstances to your will. Machiavelli understood that men are not motivated by truth, but by fear, by hope, by perception. The man who controls himself can control others because he is not enslaved by the same forces that enslave them. Their fear is your leverage. Their weakness is your opportunity. Their uncertainty is the crack in the wall you walk through. Negative thinkers betray themselves instantly. Their speech is full of hesitation. Their body language screams submission. Their decisions waver. They are open books, easy to read, easy to predict. This is why Machiavellian rulers and strategists could dominate entire kingdoms with a fraction of the power. They weren't stronger. They were more disciplined, more ruthless, more willing to use psychology as a weapon. When you kill weakness in your own mind, you see it everywhere in others. And when you see it, you can exploit it. Not for cruelty, but for control, for advancement, for dominance. Dark psychology makes one thing clear. People crave leadership. They crave someone who radiates certainty. In times of confusion, they follow the man who does not flinch. That man must be you, but you cannot fake it. You cannot pretend to be unshakable while still harboring doubt in your own mind. They will sense it. They will smell it. Humans are predators by instinct, and predators can smell fear. That's why killing negative thinking is not optional. It is survival. It is preparation for war. Once you do, your presence itself changes. You walk into a room and eyes follow you, not because of appearance, but because of energy. Your silence carries more weight than their shouting. Your calm unnerves them more than their chaos. This is power, cold, quiet, absolute. Now let's break down how this works in practice. 1. In negotiations. The weak man overthinks, doubts, second-guesses his own worth. He folds under pressure. But you sit calmly, unshaken, because you have already executed your inner doubts. Your silence forces others to reveal themselves. Your certainty makes them bend to your terms. 2. In relationships. Most people are ruled by insecurity. They beg for validation, they fear rejection, they cling. That weakness makes them easy to control, easy to discard. But you, untouchable, you do not beg. You do not cling. You choose. You attract by gravity, not by desperation. And because you need nothing, you command everything. 3. In leadership. Groups mirror the strength of the one at the top. If the leader doubts, the group collapses. If the leader stands unshakable, the group becomes an army. This is where Machiavelli's principle of fear and respect merges with your inner fortress. You are not a tyrant. You are a ruler, cold, strategic, respected, and feared enough to never be challenged. Do you understand the shift? By eliminating weakness in your mind, you no longer live reactively. You become proactive. You shape events instead of being shaped by them. You write the script while others play their roles. Now declare it in the comments. I bend reality because I first bent myself. Put it in writing. Claim it. Because the world does not yield to the fragile. It yields to the ruthless. This is not arrogance. This is not fantasy. This is psychology. This is strategy. This is power. And power always flows to the man who has slaughtered doubt and stands unmovable. 8. Mastery in chaos. Power is not tested in calm waters. Anyone can appear composed when nothing is at stake. The true measure of a man, the true proof of an untouchable mind, comes when the world collapses into chaos, when everything burns, when enemies circle, when uncertainty suffocates. That is when weak men crumble, and that is when the Machiavellian mind ascends. Chaos is opportunity disguised as disaster. Machiavelli wrote that fortune is like a raging river. It destroys the weak, but it can be redirected by the prepared. Negative thinkers drown because they panic. They see only destruction. The untouchable man sees angles, openings, strategies. He doesn't just survive the storm, he uses it to wipe away competition. Dark psychology reminds us that in moments of crisis, people become malleable. Fear makes them irrational. Panic makes them obedient. The man who stands calm while others drown becomes the natural ruler. His silence becomes command. His steadiness becomes dominance. So how do you weaponize chaos? You begin with your inner fortress. When disaster strikes, your first battle is not with the world. It is with your own mind. You must silence panic instantly. You must execute fear the second it breathes. Because once you do, every decision that follows is clean, cold, and tactical. Picture this. Your competitors collapse under pressure. They lose focus. They betray themselves with rash choices. But you remain still, calculating, already 3 moves ahead. You wait, you watch, and then you strike. Not wildly, but surgically. This is Machiavellian mastery in its purest form. Here are the principles. 1. Expect betrayal. Weak men cling to loyalty. Strong men understand loyalty shifts under stress. When chaos comes, many will abandon you. Some will turn on you. Expect it. Plan for it. When you have already executed fear inside yourself, betrayal cannot shake you. You replace people like broken tools, cold, efficient. 2. Control perception. In chaos, appearances matter more than truth. If you radiate calm while others scream, you become the anchor. People rally around you because you look unshakable. And in power, perception becomes reality. 3. Exploit hesitation. Negative thinkers hesitate in crisis. They delay, they wait for certainty. They drown in what-ifs. You strike when they freeze. You act decisively, seizing control while they choke on doubt. That one moment of action separates rulers from the ruled. 4. Bend rules. Machiavelli understood. Morality bends under necessity. In chaos, rules are flexible. The untouchable man uses them as tools, not chains. He manipulates them when it serves him, ignores them when it doesn't. Weak men call this cruelty. Strong men call it survival. Understand this. When chaos erupts, the weak cling to comfort. They cry out for rescue. You are not the one crying. You are the one deciding who sinks and who swims. That is power. Cold, merciless, absolute. But do not mistake this ruthlessness for recklessness. Reckless men burn with the world. Ruthless men harness the fire. The untouchable man does not chase destruction for its own sake. He bends it, redirects it, weaponizes it. The reason most men fail is because they never killed the weakness inside themselves. They panic because their mind was never fortified. They break because they never trained themselves to endure. But you are training your mind for war. You are executing fear, silencing doubt, sharpening thought. And when the storm hits, you will stand where others fall. Machiavelli's wisdom was never about cruelty for cruelty's sake. It was about realism, about facing the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. Negative thinking is fantasy. It is surrender to illusions of failure before reality has even tested you. The Machiavellian mind rejects fantasy. It thrives in realism. It says, yes, the world is brutal. Yes, men are treacherous. Yes, chaos is inevitable. But I am stronger than all of it, because I rule myself first. Now write this in the comments. Chaos cannot break me. It only sharpens me. Stamp it into your identity, because once you believe it, once you practice it, once you live it, chaos stops being your enemy. It becomes your forge. It tempers you into steel. Remember this, the untouchable man is not the one who avoids storms. He is the one who becomes the storm. 9. Becoming untouchable. By now, you understand the truth. The greatest war you will ever fight is not against enemies, not against society, not even against fate. The greatest war is inside your skull. And when you win that war, when you execute weakness without hesitation, you rise into a category few men ever touch. You become untouchable. But what does it mean to be untouchable? It means no insult, no betrayal, no failure, no storm can break you. It means every force that destroys weaker men becomes fuel for your ascension. Untouchable is not a title. It is a state of being. It is the apex of Machiavellian psychology fused with cold, masculine stoicism. Let's break it down. The untouchable man has 3 pillars: self-rule, cold strategy, and ruthless adaptability. 1. Self-rule. Most men are slaves to their emotions. They are dragged by lust, crippled by fear, paralyzed by doubt. The untouchable man rules his desires like a king rules his subjects. Anger obeys him. Fear obeys him. Even ambition obeys him. He does not eliminate these forces. He commands them. That is why he is dangerous. The world cannot bribe him with pleasure, cannot scare him with threats, cannot distract him with illusions. Second cold strategy. Machiavelli taught that fortune smiles on those who plan while others dream. The untouchable man is always calculating. He looks at every interaction as a move in a larger game. He speaks less, observes more, and strikes only when the outcome is certain. He does not waste energy on battles that win him nothing. Every choice is measured. Every step is deliberate. This is why his power multiplies while others burn themselves out in chaos. 3. Ruthless adaptability. Dark psychology shows us that life is unpredictable. Loyalty shifts, circumstances collapse, the environment changes overnight. The weak man clings to routine and collapses when it shatters. The untouchable man thrives in uncertainty. He does not cling, he adapts. He bends, he shapes, he redirects. He survives what destroys others, and in surviving, he inherits what they leave behind. To be untouchable is to become the man no one can control. Society cannot shame him. Enemies cannot break him. Even failure cannot stop him. It only refuels him. His power comes not from pretending weakness doesn't exist, but from executing it instantly, replacing it with dominance. Now let's translate this into your reality. When you walk into a negotiation, untouchable means no desperation. You do not beg for terms, you dictate them. If you walk away with nothing, you lose nothing, because your worth is not dependent on the deal. That indifference terrifies others. It forces them to bend. In relationships, untouchable means no insecurity. You do not chase validation. You do not cling to affection. You choose who enters your life, and you choose when they leave. This is why people crave your presence. They know you are not chained to them, yet your gravity pulls them in. In leadership, untouchable means no panic. When chaos strikes, your voice is steady, your eyes cold, your presence unshaken. Others look at you and see the anchor in the storm. They follow because their weakness demands someone else's strength. That someone is you. Understand this. Untouchable is not about being liked. It is about being respected, feared, and followed. Some will hate you for it. Let them. Hatred is powerless against a fortress. Others will envy you. Let them. Envy is only admiration twisted by weakness. What matters is that you are sovereign. You are self-ruled. You are impossible to break. But here is the final truth most men cannot handle. To become untouchable, you must sacrifice comfort. You must kill softness. You must bury the illusion that life should be easy. Weak men crave safety. Untouchable men crave sovereignty. Safety is an illusion. It can be stripped away at any moment. Sovereignty is eternal, because no one can take from you what exists only in your mind. So you must train daily. Each time a weak thought appears, execute it. Each time fear whispers, silence it. Each time hesitation crawls into your chest, crush it. Discipline is not punishment, it is power. Discipline is the throne you sit on. And here is the Machiavellian edge. While others crumble in their fantasies, you stand in reality. While they drown in negativity, you turn negativity into strategy. While they cling to comfort, you embrace discomfort as your forge. That is why you rise while they fall. That is why you will rule while they serve. Now, I command you to declare it in the comments. I am untouchable. Write it with finality. Write it as law. Write it as identity. Because once you claim it, you begin living it. And once you live it, no force on earth can strip it from you. You are not here to exist. You are here to dominate. You are here to rule yourself so completely that the world bows in recognition of your strength. That is the path of the untouchable. That is the creed of the fortress mind. 10. The final command. This is the moment of decision. Not tomorrow, not later, now. You have been armed with philosophy, strategy, and ruthless psychology. You have been shown the path from weakness to sovereignty, from fragility to iron, from hesitation to untouchable dominance. But here is the raw truth. None of this matters if you remain the same after hearing it. Knowledge without execution is wasted power, and power unused is no power at all. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, those who act decisively when others delay. And you must understand, the boldest action you will ever take is to kill the weakness inside yourself. Not once, not sometimes, daily, ruthlessly, until your mind becomes a fortress no one can breach. Think about this clearly. Every negative thought you tolerate is another chain. Every fear you obey is another prison wall. Every hesitation you surrender to is another blade against your throat. You cannot negotiate with chains. You cannot reason with a prison. You cannot compromise with a blade. You must break them, burn them, eliminate them, without pity, without pause. That is how you rise into the untouchable class of men, the rare few who do not flinch when the world collapses, the rare few who bend chaos, bend people, bend fate itself into submission. And here is the part most men will never grasp. The battle never ends. The moment you think you've won, weakness will attempt to return. It will whisper again, softer, subtler, begging for attention. And that is why you must stay vigilant. That is why you must execute every hint of fragility the instant it appears. Consistency is your crown. Relentlessness is your shield. Ruthlessness is your sword. The untouchable man does not rest in comfort. He rests in control. He does not seek peace through softness. He finds peace through dominance. He does not pray for an easy life. He forges himself into a weapon capable of surviving any life. Look back at the men you've known who failed, the ones who gave up, the ones who lived on their knees. They did not fail because of circumstance. They failed because they never ruled themselves. They were prisoners of their own negative thinking. Don't you dare end up like them. You were not born to bow. You were born to command. So here is your final order. Kill your negative thinking. Kill it daily. Kill it without hesitation. Kill it until your mind bends only to you. Do this, and the world will recognize something in you. It cannot break, cannot bribe, cannot resist. When people see you, they will not see luck. They will not see privilege. They will not even see talent. They will see force. They will see sovereignty. They will see the fortress mind. The man who rules himself so completely that others instinctively follow. And when enemies rise against you, when betrayal cuts close, when storms threaten to rip apart everything you've built, you will not flinch, because you will remember this truth. Nothing external can break a man who has already killed the weakness within. This is the creed of the untouchable. This is the philosophy of power. This is the essence of Machiavelli's dark psychology merged with cold stoicism and masculine dominance. Now it is time to declare your allegiance to it. Go to the comments and write, "I kill weakness. I am untouchable." Write it as law. Write it as identity. Let the world see you claim it. And if you want this fortress of power to grow stronger, if you want to be part of a brotherhood of untouchable minds, then like this video, subscribe to Mental Fort, and turn on notifications. Because every week I will arm you with strategies sharper than steel, truths colder than ice, and philosophies designed to make you unbreakable. Do not just watch. Do not just listen. Act, comment, subscribe. Step into the ranks of men who rule themselves, and in ruling themselves, rule the game. This is your moment. Your crown is waiting. Your throne is built. Your war has begun. Kill weakness, build the fortress, become untouchable.